And we are live. Fanboy Modeling School. Hello and welcome to the Fanboy Modeling School. I am the Fat Mantis, now in HD. I'm here with my man
Steve, real name no gimmicks, also in HD. What's up?
I am horribly sick. My voice will be odd. I will cough. I will curse, and I may throw up on myself. But so a good time will be had by all.
So a typical Tuesday night. Good stuff.
There you go.
Are you holding
Nothing has changed.
Nothing's changed and nothing's different. Besides the sickness, how are you doing, big guy?
It's good to be alive. Another day above ground. You know what I mean? Another good day of reporting pop culture news to my people out here in these streets.
Yes.
And when I say these streets, I mean it the way Kamala Harris uses it. I mean in a house in the suburbs.
Right.
How are you?
I'm doing good, man. You know, the internet is a buzz with so many great topics. And
so I got a couple of honorable mentions today.
I got a couple too. Before we get into it, folks, make sure you join the team and support the movement over on rizradio.com. You can go there and check out our latest blog post from our very own The Fat Mantis, giving the Foo Fighters that work. No disclaimer needed. If you can't handle what's on the internet, you should probably think about getting off the internet, bro.
Right. For all those who don't know, I got canceled by a coworker of ours because of one of my blog posts on Riz Radio, which means you should go read it. And that's rizradio.com. Check us out, man.
Indeed, man. Honorable mentions. What's up, man?
Real quick. Yes, he says, Mantis, you got the virus? I got several.
So you ever heard of a little hip hop group called 2 Live Crew?
No, they're not ringing any bells.
2 Live Crew comprised of Uncle Luke and those other two guys who I don't know their name of, right? You know, Doodle Brown, True, just a great moment in black culture. 2 Live Crew, right? Something I wish we could bury, but who didn't like their music, man? Uncle Luke of 2 Live Crew, the founder of the group, who has been in some notable beefs over the years. Obviously, he caught that work from Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Dre Day. They made fun of Luke's Gap 2 smile, as it were. And Luke, up until recently, was an avid Trump supporter, had some horrible things to say about the Democratic Party, right? You know, typical talking points. If you're a black person still voting for the Dems in 2020, blah, 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 then, you know, all that type of stuff, right? Well, he switched sides. And I meant to bring this up about a couple of weeks ago. He, with all the political power he's been invested with, right? You know, been trusted with, he gave a warning to all black men who are supporting Donald Trump. But he
doesn't have a leg to stand because he used to be a Trump supporter.
Yeah, and he was also a smut peddler. But he gave every black man that would potentially vote for Donald Trump exactly 24 hours to come back to the warm, loving embrace of the DNC, and they would be taken back, no questions asked. And then he started taking shots at one Tariq Nasheed. Now, if you don't know who Tariq Nasheed is, I don't have enough time to bring you up to speed, but he is a social commentator who is very much known for creating the hashtag FBA, Foundational Black Americans. And they've been going back and forth on Twitter Spaces. And I got to tell you, man, Luke has proven my point. There are some people who should never, ever, ever wade into the waters of politics, right? He literally not only misquoted Tariq Nasheed, but he also misrepresented his marriage and used the lowest common denominator attack. Like, you black men out here listening to this man talk about FBA this, black that, and he's married to a white woman. That is a lie. Tariq Nasheed is not married to a white woman. He's not married to a white woman, but they've been going back and forth, and it's been absolutely amazing.
I mean, it's probably hysterical, and it's good. You know, it's not good for the culture. I'll tell you that. It's absolutely not good for the culture. Here's what it is. In general, if you're an ignorant ass ball player, and this goes for whites, blacks, Puerto Rican, candy stripe, whatever you are, if you're an ignorant ass ball player, actor, musician in the music system or whatever, we don't need to hear about your politics. Play your music and get the fuck off the stage. Speak your poetry or your jive or whatever, and get the fuck out of here, because I don't want to hear it. And here's what it is: the more ignorant you are, the worse it comes off. And when a black man does it and he's ignorant, that gives every enemy of the community another chance to make fun of us.
Especially when you were a purveyor of smut peddling, right? So Luke recently was taking a walk somewhere and he had his phone up and he says he needs a check from all the women in hip hop that are selling and doing the sexy thing, right? You might famously remember this, that there was a certain piece of legislation that was trying to ban what words and what type of content could be brought about in hip hop. I know it's strange to think about, but once upon a time, censorship was on its way in regards to hip hop, and you had groups like NWA, Public Enemy, Ice-T, Luke, all mixed up in this entire thing. Luke's taking all the credit for that. He's saying that he's the one that broke it down and defeated them. But he said he wanted to check from this. What's this young lady's name? Bex. What's the young lady's name? Spice, Icy Spice, whatever her name is.
Says he wants
Spice. Yeah, says he wants to check from her.
Taylor Swift's new best friend.
Yeah, Sexy Red. And all that stuff.
Sexy Red is the worst.
She is the worst. But I just think it's funny that a smut peddler who gave us Doodoo Brown would come out and say that you must support Kamala Harris. So that's my honorable mention. I would love to hear the thoughts of other people. Are we allowing smut peddlers to take a moral high ground now?
I mean, that's what, in my opinion, the Democratic Party is all about. Smut peddling and letting ignorant ass fools up on the mic. So we will see. Shout outs to my man Shaolin Iceboxer.
Shout out Shaolin.
We've got off that Bextasy.
Yeah, it's Bex.
All right, I know it's Bex, but I wanted to see what her name was. And of course, Dragon Lazy, Izzy, and anyone else in the stream. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you.
That is a good one. Now, my first honorable mention is gonna go to comic books, but a particular comic book. Now, I know you guys know I grew up on comic books. I love comic books. I worked independently as a comic book creator for years. But however, I've been very critical of mainstream comics. DC and Marvel get no love from me. Maybe they're old, like classic. I'll buy like a graphic novel, like, the Dark Phoenix Saga or something. But recently a comic has come out that I'm interested in picking up once it gets into a collected trade paperback.
Oh, is this a mainstream comic or what are we talking about?
Yeah, this is a Marvel comic book. And you know what? Wow. They're doing something I would have pitched if I had the opportunity. Like if an editor was in front of me, if someone from the X-Men, because I know a lot of you don't know this, but the way it is X-Men got so big that they had their own editors. Right. And so there's the editor-in-chief, and then there's the editor-in-chief of X. And the editor-in-chief of X was as powerful as the editor-in-chief of Marvel. And they had their own different editors, and everyone else shared the same editors, but they were their own thing. If I had this opportunity, I would have pitched this idea, and I think it's a great idea. So check this out. It's simply a comic called Phoenix. It's Jean Grey with the Phoenix Force out in outer space, away from the X-Men, fighting cosmic beings.
Oh yeah, is this a part of the New Gods type of arc that they're doing right now? Yeah,
maybe. I don't know, but I actually want to read this.
That sounds pretty cool, man.
That's my shout out, because here's the thing: Jean Grey only fits into pretty much like one storyline they ever let her have. She resurrects from the dead. She joins them. The Phoenix Force comes back to her. She can't control it. She goes crazy. She dies. Repeat every time. You know what? Why don't they just let the bitch cook? Let her get her superpowers. Let her do her thing. Yo, maybe she doesn't need to be up Cyclops' ass 24/7. Maybe she needs some time on her by herself.
No pegging in the relationship, man.
There's a lot of pegging going up in the X universe, and I'm sick of it.
Yeah, you know what, man? It's funny you say that because they're on the convoluted arc, man. You know, you called it. I was really amped up for Hickman's run, and Hickman stepped away, and then they couldn't maintain it, and it just got weird. And the last thing I tuned into is that Apocalypse announced his new, his successor, whose name is Revelation, and it's one of the most obscure characters from New Mutants. It's the guy that can translate or read or speak in any language.
Yeah, Cypher.
Yeah, and he wound up becoming his new, his successor. And I was just like, okay.
You know what's funny? Marvel keeps trying for decades, trying to make Cypher a thing.
Yeah, they won't let it go.
They will not let him go. As a matter of fact, in his original run, he died pretty early. He died in New Mutants number 50.
Yeah.
And he died from a common bullet.
Yeah.
A mutant hunter shot him dead. And since he died, they keep resurrecting him. They keep trying to give him important roles and putting him on teams. And I'm like, a guy who could speak languages, that is not what a mutant makes.
You know what's funny? You're talking about independent comics and stuff. Radiant Black. There's an animation of Radiant Black going around with him fighting some other black character, and I forget his name. He looks like Blue Marvel, and it's absolutely amazing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I think the guy's name is Eclipse, and so this is crazy. This is crazy. So check this out. I used to read an Image comic called Cowl.
Okay.
And I freaking love this comic book. So it takes place in the 50s, and so it's Cowl is an acronym for costumed what is it? Costumed Organized Workers League. And so it's the superheroes of one city all are unionized. And the city has to pay them or they go on strike.
Oh, nice.
And it takes place in the 50s, and it's really, really it was really, really good. It went on for a while and it ended. That black character is from that comic book. And so that creator, years later, he's now made, and I didn't even know about this, Radiant Black. He's made this comic book called Radiant Black, and he has Cowl, the past of Radiant Black's world, because it's in his own universe. So I know what you're doing. I'm looking on Instagram, and I was like, "Yo, I know that brother." You're saying with the blue V?
Yeah.
Walking. Yeah, his name is I think his name is like Eclipse or something like that. And he's walking, and Radiant Black comes and tries to fuck with him. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was a great piece of animation right there. Actually, something I would get behind, man. And it's funny we're talking about this, right? Because this is my last honorable mention, but it seems to be something that's going to be a big deal. No, I'm not talking about Star Wars Outlaws or Black Wuhan, which I haven't bought yet, Shaolin. I do want to play it. I heard it's amazing. Sold like gangbusters. Amazon is doing a Sony animated series about their games, and they just released a reel. And it's going to be a show on Amazon, man. And people are really amped about this. Did you not see the commercial?
Wait, a show?
Yeah, it's like a bunch of shorts. If you give me a second, I can look up the trailer for you.
Please do it. Okay. Rogue says, I'm late. Oops. You are never late, Rogue Radio, because you live right here in our hearts. You're always with us.
You're right on time.
Right on time.
Let me see here. You got any other honorable mentions?
What isn't going to explode tonight? Honorable mention. I got to say this: Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm giving an honorable mention because of how amazing that movie is doing.
Right.
And I know they're not going to hit 2 billion unless they do the following. So let me ask you a question: have you heard of any of these deleted scenes people are talking about?
Yeah, they're all over the internet.
And I know people sometimes lie about the deleted scenes. They're like, I heard there was a scene where somebody blows Apocalypse. Yeah, right. That doesn't happen. But, you know what I'm saying? You know how they exaggerate or what they are?
Yeah.
I think what they should do is they should make an extended cut. Don't put it out on DVD. Don't put it out on streaming. Put it out in theaters. And keep the money flowing.
Yeah, I like it.
If they put these deleted scenes into a movie and then they were like, yo, another half an hour of this movie, I think people would all go back to see it again.
Oh, absolutely. People would definitely go back in droves, man. I think it officially hit $1.2 billion and reclaimed the top spot. You rightfully called it. Romulus making money and making waves. I do believe Disney's going to queue up another one on that. I'm happy for Ryan Reynolds, man. I could not be happier for a millionaire than I am right now, man. It's the engine that could. We knew it could. It wasn't even a little engine. We knew it was going to blow like gangbusters. Oh, I'm sorry. It was going to blow like a a newly drafted member of the hub. Do its thing on the casting couch.
And it's funny. Congratulations to him and his wife. Him and Blake Lively just had a new child.
Right.
And because of this, it's funny. They're moving out of Hollywood. And they're moving to North Carolina.
Praise God.
People are criticizing them, but I was like, that's a better place to raise your kids, man.
100%. What's going on with Blake Lively in this movie, this controversy shit she's got going on right now?
So, it's she does this movie, right? And it's called It Ends With Us. And so it's funny. All the trailers make it look like it's a romance movie, but it's really starts as a romance, and it's really about a brother who, not a brother, but a dude who beats his woman, and she has to have the strength to run out on him.
Oh.
And people are saying it's great, and it's already making money. From the beginning, it was just making money. People are going, they're emotional, it's powerful, it's a movie you got to see. And so they noticed during the press things, Blake Lively and the crew were all hanging out together, and the guy who stars in it and I believe directed it
and is the one that got the license for the books. Yeah,
right. No one will take a picture with him. No one will be near him.
Wow.
And so, so check this out. So here's basically what ended up happening. Apparently, the rumor is he's a real prick to everybody else, and so Blake Lively decided to be like the person to stand up to him. And so at the end of the day, she wanted a different version of the movie that he wanted. They were having some sort of debate. It was going back and forth, blah 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 blah. But now, since that has erupted, people are using this opportunity to try to cancel her.
Really?
So people are bringing up times she was a bitch like a decade ago. And they're like, look at how she treats this reporter in this interview. People are just bringing up her past, bringing up her things. People are just trying to bring this girl down. It's messed up. You know what it is? She's not at fault, and she's too powerful to fall. They don't really have anything on her other than they should have a few clips of her being a catty bitch to people. But
yeah, I saw some videos where they were like, the death of feminism and it ends with her type stuff, and I was just like, oh man, it sucks. Like, it sucks in this regard, right, man? The movie made more money than it was supposed to in a market where it wasn't supposed to make any money. And I'm just gonna give her the horn for that, man. Like, I don't know what's going on behind scenes and all that shit.
All these people are haters trying to bring. Basically, here's what it is: they're trying to bring the popular blonde girl down.
Yeah,
at her moment of triumph. I think they're always trying to do that to everybody. In my opinion, she's done nothing wrong. Don't get me wrong; they show clips of her being a bitch to people, and I'm sure she's a bitch. But
who
so
cares?
am I.
She's not bad enough.
Rogue Radio says, from my own knowledge, Blake is said to be out of touch with reality and won't talk much about the issue of domestic abuse.
Okay.
Maybe. Shaolin Icewaxer says, they're coming after her now. I've been seeing all these old clips of her being the high school bully in interviews. Yes, that's what they're doing. They're like, as long as we're talking about this, Blake Lively is a bitch. But this is here's what I'm saying. This is the childish equivalent of taking old tweets. Because here's what I'm saying. In old tweets, sometimes they will literally catch white people using the N-word. And I'm like, even I'm against that. I'm like, it was 10 years ago, whatever.
Yeah.
But this is less than that. This is even a lesser. It's not even like she's using the N-word. She's just being kind of a bitch.
Bro, I do not care, man. Like, listen, let her have her win, her W. Big year for the Reynolds house over there, right? Doing much better than J-Lo and Ben Affleck. So shout out to them, making money hand over fist. 2 hits on their hands. And obviously, I'm going to stand for Ryan Reynolds right now because he's still pushing the issue for the send-off movie for Blade. So he's good in my book.
No, I think it can happen. I think rumor has it that Mahershala Ali has actually left, and Marvel is just keeping it a secret before they know what they're going to do. But there's a lot of talk about him not being involved anymore.
Yeah. Beck
says, Yeah, they bringing up shit from the Gossip Girl days, which is like early 2000s, by the way. People are weird. That is totally
Very,
weird.
they're
Get
very
off it,
weird.
guys. Izzy says Spider-Woman is going to be a part of the Into the Spider-Verse trilogy, and then they're going to try to bring Miles Morales in a live action. I know they are. I was just wondering, they need to do it right, or it's going to be a disaster.
Yeah. Right now, Spider-Man's up in the air, man. A lot of rumors, speculation swirling about Sony doing Sony things, wanting to get involved in the creative process. They're like that one kid that you would take to a poetry slam, and you'd be like, this really isn't the scene for your breakup poetry. This is more of a revolutionary scene. And they're like, no. People definitely want to hear my 26-page hymn about my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that shit. Nobody fucking wants it, man.
Or no, it's when you're the smart kid and you have to do a group project and you get assigned with the biggest dumbass in the world.
Oh.
And every time it's time to do something jointly, they want to do it wrong or stupid.
Yeah.
And you just want to be like, shut up. Let me do all the speaking. We're going to get an A.
Let me cook. Let me cook. I sent you the trailer, man. And all right, so this is a big deal coming out because Amazon Studios, pushing with Sony. They are also Amazon Studios doing the live action. That's right. The live action adaptation of God of War, which, by the way, I think I'm going to say it here, man. If done right, it could be that scratch for that itch for you Game of Thrones fans, right? I think Shaolin would agree with me. The God of War story is brutal, incest not included, thank God, but it is a brutal, brutal story. And if done right and brought to the screen correctly, I think it'd be great. But this is called, damn, I already forgot the name.
Secret Level?
Secret Level, yes. And I saw some of it on Tyron's channel, and I meant to bring it up last week, but whenever you're ready, you can play it for the people.
Yo, Shaolin says, I still can't believe they're releasing Craven. You have any thoughts on Craven before I press play on this trailer?
Yeah, I have all types of thoughts. None of them good about Craven, right? But for me personally, man, I never wanted this movie, and I just know that Sony is a part of the vast conspiracy to destroy the superhero genre, just like DC was, because they can't make anything of quality. And if you can't beat the popular kid, if you can't beat the popular franchise, then here's what you do. You inundate and flood the market with a bunch of bullshit that people can't differentiate between. All they see is superheroes, and they're like, oh, another superhero movie? I don't care about this shit. I don't care that it's rated R. It's going to be bad, man. It's going to be bad. And in fact, while I got you up here, you son of a bitch. Yo, man, I got to tell you, man, I'm still willing to die on this hill, man. Eternals was a bad movie, but that last fight scene is everything, man. That shit is amazing. And it made me want to hit you and Shaolin up, man. I know a path in which they could have taken Eternals to make it better, but it could not be a part of mainstream Marvel, man. If they wanted that movie to be successful, they should have made that their Justice League, right? That should have been like a in the past type of scenario to kind of compare and contrast heroes, right? Because as I'm watching that fight scene, I'm like, man, this is a really beautifully shot scene. That you have to admit, that last fight scene was fucking epic, bro.
Right, but this actually goes to show you that you need more than fight scenes.
True.
To be good, and you need characters you're going to care about. And I'll tell you, like for instance, that speedster girl, that is a great scene. The way she's fighting him with her speed.
Oh yes.
But nobody cares about her.
Nobody.
She's got five. She doesn't. Well, for starters, she's mute throughout it. But like, there was no reason to care about her one way or the other, right?
Right.
So what is really going on here? And so, here's what I got to say: just to Marvel or any of these guys, when they're setting up these big stories, they need to cut to the chase, right? And so, right. Eternals was made so that Cersei, the Black Knight, and Star Fox could join the Avengers.
Yes,
that's why they decided to make it a movie, and they added all the peripheral characters to be like, let's set them up so they end up going to the Avengers. But at the end of the day, they didn't have that happen. And they set up an idea for a sequel, and I'm like, what is the point of this? And by the end of the movie, she better be shaking hands with Iron Man, or you're wasting our time.
Yeah. Actually, man, I can't wait to talk about Iron Man and Doctor Doom, man, because I'm really upset, man, because we had the perfect casting for Doom, but that's later on.
Yeah,
go ahead and play this shit.
Let's see what these guys have for us, because this will either be the most genius thing ever, or the worst. Oh, wow.
It's time. This world has waited for your arrival.
Oh, shit, it looks good.
It is you.
Like, the art is really good.
Will open the door. Because you are the chosen. All those moments. It's a new adventure. Just for you.
Looks amazing.
Come in. You have a game to play.
You know what's great about that, man? The thumbnail is Kratos, and literally he's in the trailer so quickly that it took experts to spot him out, and everyone's Kratos!
They definitely made sure to have the most obscure thoughts so that it wasn't blatantly obvious what story was what.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yo, Gears of War were the only ones that I think was obvious.
That's not Gears of War. So these are all Sony projects. That's that shit that Henry Cavill is obsessed with. What is that?
Oh, that's Warhammer.
Yeah, that's Warhammer, man.
Okay,
Warhammer. This reminds me of something. I got to bring it up just so we don't forget. But did you watch the director's cuts of Zack Snyder's fucking Star Wars? Rebel Moon?
No, I didn't.
Excellent. They're really good.
Are you sure?
I'm sure, bro, because the other ones were really bad.
Because it's actually funny that the first one, I didn't love it. I didn't hate the first one. The second one, and I don't mean the director's cut. I mean the regular one. The second one was so boring. I watched 40 minutes of it, and literally nothing had happened.
Bro, I can tell you honestly, man, the stuff they cut out really fixes the universe and the lore. Like, even down to the point, you know how their spaceships are able to star jump and all that shit? They have these Titan-like beings that they've enslaved to have that ability, and it's absolutely beautifully represented.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's great stuff, man.
That's the type of details you need in your sci-fi movies.
Absolutely,
That's the
man.
thing that gets it. Well, they cut that out.
Yeah, they cut that out, man. Netflix and their wisdom cut it out. I could see where Zack Snyder was going with his original vision. This looks amazing, whatever this is, man. And, I love video game stuff. We do have to talk about the most successful and the only successful video game movie, in my opinion. Sonic 3 is coming out.
Oh, right. And actually, I got to say, the trailer looks really good. Even I'm saying this, and like,
yeah. The shadow, like, everything looks good. Army of Two would be a good ass movie. Yes, it would.
Yes, it would be. Yeah, it absolutely would be. Because here's the whole thing. You know what's weird? I grew up with Mario and I grew up with Sonic. Yet I've always loved Mario. Somehow I left Sonic in my childhood.
Right.
Like, as I grew older, I just I had no love for Sonic. I'd look at his products and be like, "No, I'm good."
Bro, nothing will ever compare to the music from Sonic, man. I'd be playing that game and I'm like, this is a bop, man. This music is amazing.
I agree that the original music was good. I mean, obviously nothing will beat Streets of Rage, but
Streets of Rage
that's the music. But I gotta say, these movies are making me like Sonic again.
Yes, bro. I'm honestly invested. I'm obviously gonna go see it with the little hold up boys, man, and it's gonna be a good time, man. This coming in December, man, we got a bunch of good stuff right around the corner, man, and I'm really happy about this, man.
So, do we want to get into Doctor Doom?
Let's get into Doctor Doom, man.
Let's
You want to
get
just
into
put it up in the back? Just leave us right here. Put it up right there in that little square right there.
Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got this.
So Robert Downey Jr. is rejoining the MCU, as many of you know. In case you didn't know, spoiler, he is rejoining and he's coming back as Doctor Doom. A lot of speculation around that. Obviously, this being the multiverse saga, a lot of people were saying that it's going to be a variant of Tony Stark that became Doctor Doom, which is a story in the Marvel comics, not mainline Marvel, kind of a what-if scenario. And people are saying this is a desperate attempt. Other people are rejoicing in the streets to see Robert Downey Jr. back. The memes are plentiful. Obviously, we got memes of Robert Downey Jr. coming back as T'Challa, T'Chaka, and all types of people, man. But there was a certain casting, someone that he was up against that he won out the Doctor Doom role for. And this has officially made me mad because I think this guy would have been a great Doctor Doom. Now, his only MCU representation thus far was the villain in the first Doctor Strange movie, which I actually enjoyed. Saw it in the theaters, really enjoyed it. Enjoyed it again when I watched it at home on digital. But I'm talking about everyone's favorite creepy Hannibal Lecter-like figure, that uncle that takes no bullshit at the dinner table.
Me.
This guy.
So this guy is the professional creepy guy. I mean, there's a couple of guys in Hollywood who are always the creepy guy, but he plays a good fucking creepy guy.
Yes, he was an amazing Hannibal Lecter, man. He really carried that show. It was a great show. Got canceled way too early, but at least they got to finish it. And I think he would have been the perfect Doctor Doom, man.
Especially since he's from that part of the world.
This would have been perfect. He has
an accent. He has an Eastern European accent already.
I know, man.
His normal one, his not American one, is that. So he would have. It would have been amazing. I think there's a lot of people who could have played a great Doom.
Yeah,
and that's gotten taken from us because of this Robert Downey Jr. shenanigans. And so I'm one of the people who believe this is stunt casting. They think it's a gimmick. That's why they're paying him $95 million. And a lot of people think that they're like, maybe we'll just see his Doom for these movies, and then the real Doom will come out. They're not going to waste their time doing another Doom. No. That's so stupid. This is the Doom we're going to get.
Yeah, man. But I do Mads Mikkelsen, who was amazing in Rogue Company, man. He's been amazing in everything. Even that horrible movie King Arthur, which was not that bad actually. He was amazing in that movie, man. And he would have been a great Doctor Doom. He has the physical presence. He is intimidating. He reeks of evil, right? Like this guy.
And for those who don't know, his brother plays General Thrawn.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And
so they're a family of creeps.
A family of villains. You know what's horrible about this, man, is not saying that Robert Downey Jr. can't do it, but I'm always just going to see him as Tony Stark now, and I just can't imagine him. And I'm not a Doom shill, man. I actually didn't jump on the Doom train until Secret Wars, the newer version of the story. And I was like, oh man, Doom really is that guy, man. He really is that guy. But yeah. I don't know.
I'm a Doom shill. I'm a total Doom shill. And like, you know what? It does not instill confidence in me.
What?
Robert Downey Jr. Tried out to play Doctor Doom in the early 2000s movies, and he didn't get it.
I did not know that.
And so that's something he joked about when it was announced. He was like, "Yeah, I tried out for the, 2002, but no one would have it." And I'm like, "Well, then why are you getting hired now? You weren't good for the B version of the Fantastic Four. How are you going to be good for the major leagues?"
Bro, I still just don't understand where they're going with this. But if I ever seen a casting that's gone awry, it's definitely this one. And there's not much to bemoan on this, man. But this guy is Dr. Doom in my mind. Even just juxtaposed right next to that picture of Doom. Yeah. I was saying that I wanted the younger Doom and all this stuff, but now when I see it, man, I'm like, man, he would have really been a great character, man. Hell, he would be great as Red Skull. The guy is such a good actor. He would literally be good as any villain, man.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. We really lost out on this one. It's all because Feige blinked. And so Feige, anyone who says like this isn't stunt casting, it is stunt casting. Kevin Feige is scared as shit. He doesn't know. He realizes he doesn't know how to give people what they want. He's throwing things at the wall. He's like, I think you guys like Robert Downey Jr. Let's put him back in here.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah, I think you guys like the Russo brothers. And they said the greatest actor of our generation. And I was like, who the hell are they about to bring out right now? And then when it was Robert Downey Jr.
It was Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah, when before they unmasked.
He's not even the greatest. He's not even the greatest actor in an Avengers movie. Let alone in a generation. What?
Yeah, bro, it's absolute madness, man. Go ahead.
Shaolin points out that the Mario movie was fantastic as well. Yeah, it was well done, man.
It was an adorable movie, and I don't mean that in a belittling way. It was definitely. Izzy, with an unpopular opinion, he liked the Borderlands movie.
That's funny because it's the one time that fans and critics agree is the Borderland movies. They universally hate it.
That's crazy. What did you like about it, Izzy? Fill us in. Tell us more.
Tell us more. What happened to you as a child to be like this?
What
if we see multiple variants of Iron Man and Tony Stark and Doom, just so it happens to be a Doom Iron Man? Yeah, so
that's exactly what's going to happen.
So yeah, and Heavy Spoilers said it like this. He said they're going to hire him. He's going to be some sort of variant of Tony and Doom mixed together or whatever. And then he said, and he realizes that at the end of Secret Wars, they're going to get a variant of Iron Man who looks just like him to come save the day. And so Iron Man gets to be the savior again. And I was like, that is exactly what they're going to do. Yeah, I've already lost my erection.
Oh boy.
Why would I pay to see these movies?
I have no idea what the thinking was behind this, but I do know there was an opportunity for something great to happen here, and they did not let it happen. But again, like I said, man, doing Secret Wars and adaptation into film, man, and time runs out, it's gonna be that's a really tall order because there was a lot of dark stuff going on there, man. A lot of stuff led up to it: the destruction of Wakanda, the destruction of Atlantis, just Steve Rogers getting turned old, getting his memory wiped by the Illuminati. A lot of key characters not in this, and this is a quick pivot from Kang Wars, which should have never happened. So it's bad all around. Bad for America, bro. Bad for America.
When will they learn? When will they learn? Poor Kevin Feige. I honestly, my theory. My theory. He got so rich, he started having a coke problem, and now he's high all the time and doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, I have to agree, man.
He's like La Bamba or some shit.
What?
Isn't that the plot of every biopic?
Yeah.
The celebrities they're like a wholesome person. They make it in music, and then they're fucking their cousin, and they're doing coke all the time.
Whoa, that's not La Bamba. That's more like what's that guy?
Great Balls of Fire. That was Great Balls of Fire. What are those musicians?
What are those degenerates, man? I don't know what else to make of this, man. These niggas done fucked up so many worlds, saving the world. The world they had to explore other worlds
to save them, right? Honestly, and that's another thing. We'll talk. Speaking of which, we were talking about how Spider-Man. The theory is that Spider-Man, because it's going to premiere between Doomsday and Secret Wars, that it's gonna have to be a multiverse movie. And it's like, enough with the multiverse.
They gotta finish
enough with. I am so sick. I cannot wait for it to end. And remember when people were saying Marvel wanted it to be a street level epic where he fights Kingpin and Daredevil guest stars, and maybe the Black Cat will be in it, and I would much rather that. And I'm tired of seeing Tobey Maguire show up or something.
Right.
I'm over it.
You hear anything about the new Black Panther show, Wakanda Reborn?
I haven't heard Wakanda Reborn. I heard Eyes of Wakanda.
Yeah, or whatever it's called, man. That's
animated one, right?
That's supposed to be like some time travel and shit. So they're going knee deep into the multiverse, man. Nothing's going to change here.
Okay, so what this is, and this is what is driving me crazy about And this was people's complaint about big corporations owning Marvel when Disney decided to buy them and Star Wars, and then this is eventually going to lead into why Grace Randolph is a fucking idiot.
Oh boy.
Okay, so basically people were like, when a corporation gets something, all they do is destroy it, and people were like, no, they're going to do good. Look at all these good movies they're giving us. They're giving us all this movie. What they do with the corporations is they do IP mining, right? And so what is IP mining? And Agatha is a perfect example of this. They look at a project and they're like, can we give Quicksilver a show? Can we give Agatha a show? Can we give Scarlet Witch's children a show? Can we give Pepper Potts a show? Why don't we get a feminist Pepper Potts show, made for the girls? Let's do everything. And they think they can turn everything to a product, and people are idiots who will respond to it. And they sap out what people love about the product. Right. And it's the worst vampirism. It's destructive. It's so Echo and Miss Marvel and all these things that nobody asked for are just destroying the product at this point.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. We've been over it ad nauseum, and I agree with your point, man. That you got to release stuff that has a fan base and people care about. Every once in a while, you'll be able to strike gold and release something that people didn't know they cared about, like Iron Man. People didn't know how much they liked Iron Man until they saw that first movie. And you know what? I watched the second one again. That one actually stands up as well. That was a great movie as well, bro. The third one.
I won't agree with that statement because I really hate to. But
listen, when I got my first Android phone, Iron Man 2 came for free on the phone, man.
Of course it did, because it has no value.
Just like Android phones.
And so with Eyes of Wakanda, they're like, what type of things out, like the white man stealing all the natural resources from Africa? They're like, what can we drain out of the Black Panther like IP? And they're like, let's give the Dora Milaje their own show. Here's the thing: people have to realize when someone is a side character in someone else's. No offense to the Dora Milaje, I love them. They do not deserve their own show.
Absolutely not.
They are meant to be supporting characters in a Black Panther story.
I don't even think they deserve their own book, and they have a heavy presence in the comics now, man. Fuck,
because of the movies. It's because of the movies.
And T'Challa doesn't even have a kingdom anymore. He's running around poor part of Wakanda like Batman, which is a great arc. If you read it, it's actually a really good arc.
but I'm gonna go on with Disney, and like what they're doing is just so utterly disgusting, and I'm not going to support any of their things. And so, for instance, Marvel Zombies at least has a comic book behind it. There's like a reason why it was made. Right. We like zombies, we like Marvel. That shit is fun. But a lot of this other stuff is just shenanigans, and it's every time they're going to be whittling away. Basically, they're chasing fans away.
Yeah. It's funny because when you look at something like Werewolf by Night, I was not expecting to like that, and that turned out to be really good. But it's a one-off, and thank God, because I didn't want to see multiple episodes of that. Like, also another missed opportunity for them to debut Blade, and they were just like, nope.
And you know what? I absolutely agree with you that if they had actually done a full show, that would have been horrible. But it's like a Halloween special. It's a one-off. It's cutesy. It's it's kind of funny. I loved it.
Yeah, it was a good time, man. It was a good time.
And I agree with you. A Blade should have been one of the monster hunters. And then he should have taken mercy on the guy.
Yeah, 100%.
He's a good guy. Yeah.
I'm actually reading some Blade comics right now, man, and good stuff. I didn't know they were so well written. I sent you and Shaolin a group chat message the other day about something that happened to me in the gym. You mind if we talk about that for a second?
Yeah, let's do it.
So I was at the gym minding my business the other day, man, and I'm just one of those guys that believes women. Mantis, you know that about me. I believe women. I believe women so much. I believe women so much that I stay the hell away from them, right? So I'm at the gym and I'm working out. Two weird scenarios. Now, here's something that we've been taught as men via memes, via conversations with our female friends nowadays is you can't read too deeply into an interaction with a woman. Doesn't matter what she was wearing, doesn't matter where she touched you on your shoulder, doesn't mean that she was interested. A touch can just be a touch, and provocative clothing is not worn for your enjoyment. It's worn so they can feel better about themselves.
Men always over sexualize an occurrence. Women usually under sexualize an occurrence.
Exactly. And I got a story I'll tell you off air just to let you know that men often know the behaviors of other men. So I'm at the gym and a young lady, I'm about to use the press machine. The young lady's using the squat machine, and I'm just queuing up to do my workout. And then I look back up and she's standing in front of me, very petite, young. I mean, very young. And she's like, "Can you help me fix the chair on the machine?" And I'm like, "Sure, no problem." I get up, and while I'm fixing the chair, I notice that the other people who are in the area are looking at me. And I almost wanted to say, "Hey, she told me to come over here and do this. This is not some old creepy dude trying to, that guy floating around the gym giving unsolicited help." So I just mind my business on that one. I just let her do her thing. She says, "Thank you." I sit back down, get ready to get back to the press. And then I look up, and a woman who had on the tightest yoga pants I've ever seen, who had so much room to go stretch wherever she wanted to and warm up, but she starts stretching right in front of me. So I did what any sane man who doesn't want to get canceled does. I closed my eyes. I literally closed my eyes on the bench press machine and started to
Okay, for starters, beta. So one thing I have to say is it is a good thing you did not say, "Hey, I'm only helping the young lady." Yo, that is an old man thing to say. Don't ever say that.
Okay.
Okay, for starters, if someone's looking at you, you think thinking something, ignore it. Unless they speak up. Here's what I'm saying: if they speak up, then say something.
Right.
And you'll be like, "Motherfucker, I was just helping the girl. What's your problem?" But don't be initiating it, because you're gonna look like a weirdo.
Okay, got you.
But my argument, and obviously I'm about to get canceled for what I'm gonna say here. Looking is completely acceptable because we have eyes and we live in the physical world, and she's in front of you.
Right.
And so obviously don't ogle, but you can look. But here's the thing. Society has gotten you so scared that you're closing your eyes. Inappropriately so. You shouldn't feel so scared that you have to close your eyes.
Well, okay. And that brings me to the point that I want to make in regards to one of the videos I sent you. I sent you a video about a young woman who is just completely freaking out because someone violated her personal space at the gym. And this is what we have to contend with, where I'm starting a new hashtag called Safe Space for Men, right? Hashtag, what about our safe spaces, right? Don't we all just come to the gym to physically improve ourselves? You ever get off a machine, pause, and you went so hard, pause.
Oh,
that
God.
You're basically
slow down, guy.
You're basically just staring off into the distance, but then someone looks at you and they think you're staring at them. You're like, "No, man, I'm staring through you," right? This happens more often than not, where I think women think guys are staring them at the gym, but it's like, "Yo, this dude just pushed 220 pounds, man. He's trying to recalibrate back to reality."
No, because here's what it is. I agree with you. That is what's happening. But if you think these women are innocent, you are some naive motherfucker. And so these girls get clout out of calling you a creep.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think they know it's innocent, and I think they are active participants in a lie.
Yeah.
To try to make you look foolish. It's not a misunderstanding. You're not like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were ogling my ass." She knows you're not. She just feels like she's going to get clout if she says you did.
I know. And bro, I go to a weird gym in a weird part of the world called Madam Morris. And man, it's already uncomfortable as a black man going in there because it's a weird area. But like everyone in the gym is weird, man. And I feel I'm succumbing to the weirdness because I get on the treadmill and I just look forward, man. Even if I don't want to watch the Cooking Network, that's what I'm staring at. But let's play this young damsel in distress. And this will give you some context into why I behave the way I do at the gym.
Safe? I'm Oh, I should be. Yes, I know. And you made me feel unsafe. I don't appreciate that. And for me to have to go, no, it's okay. No, it's not okay. I'm autistic. This is my safe space. I come here to lift, and you're disgusting as I'm.
Oh, by the way, guys, self-diagnosing yourself as autistic is not a fucking thing. See a fucking doctor or shut the fuck up. Thank you.
Out of the way so you can see yourself.
That's my PSA.
You.
Wow.
Wow, what?
I rescind my apologies. You're nuts.
All right, guys, we've got another gym freak out, and this one's a doozy. The guy is correct. This woman is nuts. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you better.
I'm just saying, the day a chick comes for me on this
Guys, before we
situation.
get into today's video, please like and subscribe. We're often
You're
talking
gonna have
about
to
the
be bailing
subject
me out of
gym
prison, bro.
behavior on this channel, and specifically as it pertains to women. More often than not, we're talking about the subject of women going to the gym, sexualizing themselves, and then complaining when they are sexualized by others. Now, this
Right.
one's going to be an interesting story of a woman who went to the gym, was hit on by a man, and she didn't appreciate that come on, and was then accusing him of sexual harassment. Let's find out if it's actually true. Let's watch.
So an Ottawa police officer just sexually harassed me at the gym. As one does, of course. He was doing chest flies. I was standing in front of him and I was respecting him in his space and wanted him to be able to see his form. So I kept moving out of the way so that he could see himself in the mirror. And after I did this twice, he stops me and he's like, yeah, it's okay. I may just be a dirty old man. Here it comes. But I almost don't mind if you're standing in front of me while I do this. And I did what we all do as women when we get comments like that. I just went, ha ha, ha. Turned around and I was like, I hate men. And
Yeah, so I'm putting my 2 cents in right now, early in the game, and I might get deleted. Early on, my call right now, the comment isn't that bad. It's a little flirty. It's not
Right.
harassment. It's not
Right,
harassment.
right.
And I was really pissed and went to turn around to tell him, like, this is not okay, and here is why. And he was gone. I got a Good Life associate, told her, and she wanted to see where it happened so that she could find it on camera, because I was like, I don't want to come back here with this dude. Like, I'm uncomfortable as shit right now. He was there. I was like, oh, this is him. Confronted him. And then when I told him that was not okay, you made me feel uncomfortable, he was like, I'm sorry. And I was like, no, like, this is not cool. It's not okay. Then he tells me, I actually rescind my apology.
Okay, let's pause before we get into the interaction that she apparently filmed. We need to ask ourselves an important question. Does this constitute sexual harassment? She was at the gym, working out, moving out of this guy's way. He said, you know what? I might be a dirty old man, which might set off some alarm bells, but it's also him saying, we're not in the same league, and I understand that, but I don't mind you working out in front of me. Now, it is a come on. It is him hitting on her, and it is, I guess, an unwanted advance of a sexual.
Okay, so so she used the wrong phrase, and I want to point something out. It is not hitting on her. It is flirting with her. The difference being, hitting is an attempt to get a girl to hook up with you or go out with you or something like that.
Okay.
That is just a flirty line.
Yeah, and not a good one. at that.
That's different than if you're hitting on someone, you're actually actively trying to get them. I don't think that you know what I'm saying? That there has to be more than what he put down, is what I'm saying.
No, and I agree with you, man. It was definitely him flirting with her for sure. It was, I'll go as far as to say maybe out of line, right? You know, if she really was in a space where she's like, I'm trying not to distract this guy, trying to respect the space. But did you miss the part where he said, I apologize? I apologize.
Yeah, no, I didn't miss that part. But let me ask you. A girl's working out. She's doing her the chest press, and you're working out, and then you realize, and you start to move away, and she goes, "Yo, don't worry, you can work out in front of me any day." Would you really be that offended, or would you just smile and go, "Okay," and keep working out?
Bro, I would smile and keep working out because men respond to these things differently. But I will acknowledge that women live in a world where, like, you know, a misguided interaction could possibly lead to a stalker. You and I know guys like that, like, bro, she wants me. But in this instance, the guy, you shamed him publicly. You brought it to the staff. He's saying he's sorry. Move the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? Just move the fuck on, man. Like, he's a police officer. There are real life consequences if he would have done anything wildly inappropriate. Just move the fuck on. Now it's a matter of public record because you had to pull out your phone after the guy apologizes. That's my point of view on the thing.
Sexual nature, but does that constitute harassment? Has he harassed her in giving that one comment, going about his day, and then being confronted by her again and apologizing after he notices that she's uncomfortable? To me, that does not scream harassment. And of course, we'll have to look up the definition of harassment to cross our T's and dot our I's. Okay, this is according to the Legal Information Institute. Harassment refers to words or behaviors that threatens, intimidates, or demeans a person. Harassment is unwanted, uninvited, and unwelcome and causes nuisance, alarm, or substantial emotional distress without any legitimate purpose. Now, from this interaction, we can tell that this was an unwanted advance of a sexual nature, but was he threatening, intimidating, or demeaning her as a person? I think not. If we took this to court and called it sexual harassment, I think we'd be sent home that day and everybody would be fine. But no, we can't just let it be fine. We have to confront the man who gave us a compliment. Let's watch.
Anyway, here's the video.
And I kept moving out of the way. Oh, that's him. Ew. Oh, f off. No. I don't give a It's inappropriate. I don't appreciate it, and it made me feel uncomfortable. This is a place where I come to feel safe.
You should be safe.
Oh, I should be.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I know. And
All
you
right,
made me
listen.
feel unsafe. I don't appreciate that. And for me to have to go, no, it's okay. No, it's not okay. I'm autistic. This is my safe space. I come here to
What that has to do
and
with
you're
anything?
disgusting. As I'm moving out of the way so you can see yourself in the mirror. You.
Wow.
Wow, what?
I rescind my apologies. You're nuts.
Oh my gosh. W at the end there. He said, oh wow, as he came to the realization that this lady is crazy. You know, I take it back. I rescind my apology. When she came to him and said, you know what, this made me feel uncomfortable. I'm not okay with it. He immediately said, I apologize. You know what? I am so sorry.
The craziest part about this is that that's her TikTok. And she allowed it to end on that note where he gets the win and she looks like a nutbag. And I can understand if that's a video mocking her, but no, that's her own TikTok.
What was
that she allowed it to end on him dissing her like that?
What was the need to self-diagnose as autistic?
There was no need. There's no need. I know basically every female that I know, it's always females, who are like, and by the way, I'm autistic, and they don't seem autistic at all. It's usually self-diagnosed, and they do it for attention. You know,
right? Like you're the most high-functioning autistic person I've ever encountered.
You're the Albert Einstein of autists. And you know, obviously, we all know that it's not even a funny thing to steal or like, you know, to steal that energy away, because we all know and love somebody or relatives who are autistic, right? And so that's not cool that these women do this. You know, I have several friends who have said this and done this, and I just kind of eye roll them. I'm like, yeah, that's funny, but this is becoming a new phenomenon. It's kind of like a couple of years ago. Remember when everyone was diagnosing themselves with multiple personality disorder?
Yeah, OCD was a really sexy one for a while there.
yeah. And so everyone's just reading. They're reading in magazines about stuff, and like, you know what? I think I'm OCD. And they're like, why? I'm so obsessive. And you're like, how so? You know, stuff. You know, my shows, my Desperate Housewives. You know, it's all so stupid. It's also so stupid. So the fact, and once again, the fact that she had to pull that card is further proof that she isn't.
Right. Because
someone who is actually autistic would not even mention that in a fight like that.
But you know, it's funny, man. Again, we all know and love someone that is genuinely diagnosed or categorized as having autism, being high functioning or higher in the spectrum. When I hear people with the OCD thing, you know, back in my days of being, working with that demographic, I worked with a guy that had OCD, and he had real clinical grade OCD. I mean, habitual rituals and to the point of being dangerous hygiene methods, you know. Caught the guy bathing in bleach one day. Obviously, numerous problems that come with that. And I'm like, if you people would just see what life was like for someone that actually had OCD, the struggle they had, you wouldn't want it. There's nothing sexy about it. It's not cute. It's not.
Yeah, I had a friend in high school. He didn't go to my high school. He went to a different high school. He had a cousin die in a car accident. And then after that, he became OCD, and one of his obsessions was his own mother, and he obsessively wouldn't leave his mother alone. And so he had to drop out of school because he was just following his own mother around.
Yeah, see.
That is someone who has a problem.
Yeah, wouldn't have enough time to make a bogus complaint at a gym and then take a public L. I'm not even gonna go, yeah, they use it as an excuse to act stupid. I notice it a lot with white women. Oof.
We're not being racist. I have noticed that a lot of younger white women like to do the self-diagnosis, almost as if black women have too many issues and too many like living life situations to do to make up fake diagnoses about themselves.
What's crazy about this is, all right, and I'm going to take it to a place that's probably wildly uncomfortable, man. There is a form and function to the clothing we wear at the gym, and women should be allowed to wear whatever they want. The form and function, as I understand it, of yoga pants is the flexibility, right? The ability to move and be free and do the type of workout or calisthenics it's all calisthenics, but that you're trying to do. What is the point of her wearing that sports bra, though?
Right. She's wearing nothing. That's not even a sports bra.
Right.
Are you kidding me? That's a bikini. What that chick is wearing.
And again, I don't want to
fatty tits. they're not here's what it is. They're like there's many different types of big boobs.
Right.
Those are fatty tits. Those are not,
But what's the form and function? What's the form and function? To
make motherfuckers look at her. That's clearly what
I had an argument with someone, not even an argument. They were like, well, that's why women need their own gyms. I'm like, okay, if you can finance and make that something possible. I know that there are female only gyms. I'm fine with that, man. Actually,
they're all going out of business.
Yeah. I think the demographic should be split. There was a fighter, God rest his soul, by the name of Anthony Rumble Johnson. Amazing fighter. Had the temperament of a fighter, right? Type of guy that went to the gym to get the job done, if you know what I'm saying, right? He goes, he works out, hits the bag, not one to be trifled with. And apparently some woman put her yoga mat right in front of him while he was doing some work, and he threw that shit across the gym, and he's like, get the fuck out of here. I'm trying to fucking work. Get this work. And I get that. Maybe we should not allow these two groups to mingle. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, if I owned a gym, you know what I'd do? I would have the biggest part of the gym co-ed, and I'd have a different room, and that's a women's only. But it wouldn't be equal. It's not like 50-50. It would be a smaller one. It would have all the basics, the ellipticals, a few weights, whatever. And if a woman really feels that uncomfortable, she can go in that room, and we'll throw any dude out who follows her.
Yeah.
But normal people all work out together.
Yeah.
And so that's what the majority of people should do.
Right.
But I basically, if you're an uptight woman who has issues, I got a room for you. And Big Daddy Mantis is coming in. I kid.
I think that dog hunts, man. The crazy thing about it is, man, I used to go to an MMA gym in the town I used to live in. And I experienced the phenomenon that I only heard about, which was gym prowlers. Have you ever heard this term before?
No, I haven't heard the name of it. I mean, I have a feeling like I can project what it is, but what is it?
So basically in combat sports, right, there are gyms where there are tourist women who come and join these gyms, and they want to train with the combat athletes who typically are some instructors themselves, and they're looking for a husband. They're looking for a come up. And I was like, this can't be a real thing. Until one day I was at the gym and I noticed there were all these chicks there, and none of them could fight. Like, none of them were good at grappling. None of them were good. Not even on a white belt level were they proficient. Like, they didn't even seem like they were there to take it serious. And I realized that they were there to prowl on the poor left brain thinking fighters. And I'm like, women are guilty of this too, man.
So have you ever heard of somebody saying she went to grad school to get her MRS?
No.
This is a saying they have. And so what it is women, this happens in all fields. And I now that you say it, like, it makes sense that this happens in gyms. Because what it is the woman in question, the gym prowler, she doesn't want to fight. She wants a man who can fight. Right. And so, there are women who go to law school with no intention of finishing, or business school or whatever. And what it is they're looking for a businessman or a lawyer or med school. They'll drop it, and they have every intention to drop out, but they're looking for a boyfriend.
Okay.
And then once they get that boyfriend, they got the claws into them. They drop out, and they're not the doctor. Their husbands are. They're going to support their husband through his dream.
Well, that's just good old fashioned courtship right there, isn't it?
She went to med school to get her MRS. That's what a saying they used to say. She went to law school to get her MRS. Right?
What does MRS stand for?
Well, Mrs.
Mrs.
Yeah. She wasn't looking. Yeah, she wasn't looking for her JD. She was looking for her MRS. So that's been a thing for many years. That's an old school saying. So it is a thing that women, well, I'm going to say smart women, they go where men are, and they pretend to be interested in that thing to get men, just as men do the same thing. I pretend occasionally like gardening or whatever women are talking about, so I can sleep with them. It's a thing.
Well, that's why you were deep into astrology back into the day.
Oh yeah, big time.
Like, this doesn't make any sense.
Cancer rising. Really? Tell me more. But both sexes do it. Obviously, we're scum if we do it. We're creeps, right?
Right. It's madness, man.
And Beck says, parents literally raise their daughters to find husbands in college. Yeah, that is absolutely a thing, that they're not looking for education; they are looking for a man.
You know what, man? I will say this, man. I'm like an inch away from my gym journey, and the traditional sense is coming to an end, because like there's only so much lifting heavy things and putting them down again you can do that's entertaining. I'm definitely thinking about joining a combat gym again, because at a certain point it's like I just want to go somewhere where I can get a good workout in, right, and not have to deal with the social ills and social woes of self-diagnosed autistic people who like I don't get it, man. And here's the crazy thing, right? I go out of my way not to look at women in the gym, bro. You should see, my game is tight. Like, if I see a chick walking towards me when I'm at the water fountain, I will literally stop drinking water, tie my shoe in the opposite direction that she's coming in, and as she walks by me, I flip it. You know what I'm saying? You got time to tie that other shoe, bro.
So one thing you're probably wondering, in your case, in your story, right?
Yeah.
I bet you're wondering, were either of those chicks looking for their MRS, or should I say, were they looking to get a piece of Steve? And and here's what I'm saying: it's not impossible. It's really not impossible, because there are women who go to gyms to
the whole
guys and meet guys, and so
the gym crush culture. You and I had a coworker that, like, that was her thing, man. She had like 100 gym crushes, and she would like string them on, lead them on, and like, I'm just like, man, this is stolen gazes, all that type of stuff. It's madness.
It's a way to, and I'm part of my French, everyone, hunt, if you will, hunting for your prey. And so I would say that second girl, particularly in your story, she probably wanted you to say something to her, possibly.
Nope, my old ass closed my eyes, man.
I'm not telling you to. I'm not encouraging him.
No, I know you're not. I'm just telling you, man. I told you once I was in West Hollywood, man, and a young lady asked me for my phone number, and I was like, "Oh, I'll be right back." I went in the bathroom and hid. I stayed there for like 20 minutes. I do the things that women teach me. I
did not know this about you.
Women teach me that there are consequences for you even seeming as if you're interested in them.
Right. You're like leading her on or whatever, but
no. I stayed in the bathroom.
I'm just like, yo, I got a girl. I'm sorry. Can't be giving out that number.
Yo, women don't hear I got a girl. I'm sorry. They hear, oh, really?
Yeah, and then they'll try harder, and then guess what? I got a new girl.
Man, this is up for grabs, man. I thought you would enjoy that one, man.
I did enjoy that one. Yo, there ain't no ring on me. Yo, if you liked it, then you should have put a ring on it. Am I right?
Absolutely true. I just want to ask Bex, why she is a colonizer, and did she know she was a colonizer?
Bex is the biggest freaking colonizer I've ever met in my life.
Or did any black person in here realize that they were colonizing? That's right, folks. We're talking about the Gaza Strip. And here's something that I was completely unaware about. There's some strong, complicated feelings coming towards the African American or the black people of America and being accused of being colonizers, man.
Wait, you didn't know this?
No, this is a stinky one, man. I did
When it
not
comes
know
to the Gaza thing, man. Oh, man.
I did not know this. Let it rock, my brother. Let it rock.
Let's hear what they got to say.
Who are calling black people colonizers. I know you're not talking to me. On TikTok, there have been people saying that black people are complicit with the war in Gaza and they are colonizers. I need you to see this.
Every race in America has oppressed us. Black people also wear a uniform and get on a plane and come to our countries and kill us. You vote the same melanated people into government that sign papers to kill us. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear it. You are our colonizers.
Because you are all complicit. I don't know. I'm Ed Otley. I came to America 6 years ago solely for just education because that's the least y'all could do to, I don't know, give me some sort of compensation for displacing my family. But that the government coerces you to join the military. So basically, you guys...
I know she ain't talking to me.
She's talking directly
to kill my people, displace our people.
Look, U.S. policy is what it is, and it is directly related to the things that these TikTokers are talking about. Singling out black people, though.
With millions watching and many people benefiting from this
What
program called
What's your
Indisputable,
pastor get on the
we just
channel?
need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we could.
Let's hear it.
Right. So I'm going to say a few things and then I'm going to leave the conversation. Every tax-paying American and eligible voter technically has a hand in imperialism because of what our tax dollars fund and who we elect into office. But the thing is, we live in a world with nuance. You condemn us for enlisting and voting for lesser evils as if there is a way around the system and we're just shamelessly choosing to be part of the problem. If you were to condemn someone for buying from Starbucks knowing that they support Israel, that's reasonable because it's 100% a choice at this point. Like, it's not a necessity. But if you were to shame someone who shops at Walmart when it may be the only thing that they can afford or the only grocery store within their vicinity that they have access to, that's not reasonable. Both consumers are buying from corporations that fund genocide. But it's not that black and white, is it? You willingly came here to receive an education, all to secure a better future for yourself. Black people are doing the same thing when they enlist. You accepted an opportunity offered through a government that you know is actively oppressing others. You work here and contribute to our economy and society. So how are you absolved of the same responsibility you say we have in the matter? You acknowledge that they coerce vulnerable children and young adults into enlisting. They take advantage of people's ignorance and desperation and dangle basic human needs and
So this is obviously an American girl, so I don't understand how she's exempting herself from this.
This young lady is responding to the woman who said that she came here to get education because she was owed to that. And the point that she's making is that everyone's complicit in this, but you're coming specifically after us because the same government that you're saying is persecuting you is the same government that persecutes us and gives these opportunities, and you took the opportunity. You took it. You came to the country that is, and there it is. And there's the crux. But she gone. Just let it rock.
in front of suffering people, offering shelter and money and education and healthcare, a future, a life. And they're the ones catching astray for wanting to survive? You say we owe you because of the harm we caused you. You speak in a very general manner when regarding us. So you were telling us, descendants of slavery, the people who experience massacres on this land, the people who have whole towns under bodies of water, the people whose communities were also bombed and continue to be terrorized by the same government that bombed and terrorizes yours, the people who are also experiencing displacement due to gentrifying. You are telling those people that they owe you compensation when they have yet to receive their own reparations. As the saying goes, you can't pour from an empty cup.
The reason I wanted Jay Minnie to go first is because I think that sums it up perfectly. What more do I need to say? Maybe I don't need to say anything, but I will. Imperfect system not built for us. That's the bottom line of her statements there. It's not built for us. So why are you coming at me? And it doesn't even mean that there's not something in there. We obviously saw the tears, the pain, the ongoing suffering, the carnage, what many are calling genocide. And the United States is supplying weapons. And even last night, pledged support for Israel to defend itself. In the middle of all this discourse, TikToker Ash Bay talked about the history. Remember, there's a solidarity between Black community and Palestinians. Watch that.
No, before we get into that,
right,
I'm going to say so far, I know she's about to try to do a counterpoint. But the only point that's being made is the absurdity of backing Palestine.
Okay, let me hear it, man.
Because once you stretch the idea of like who is guilty of what, it has now bled into the point where they believe that former slaves are responsible for their oppression, which is the most ridiculous thing that basically it never stops, right? Like going like, well, in that effect, someone else is to blame, and someone else is to blame, and this other person is to blame. And next thing you know, the crackhead down the street who's never held a job, Pookie over there, who's shooting up, chasing your kids around during the day, you're getting locked up, is somehow responsible for Gaza getting bombed. And it's totally fucking insane. And I'm saying that's what happens when you start with, and I'm going to use this phrase, and I mean it in the most derogatory way possible, these people. As soon as you listen to these people and their complaints about it all, it's all totally insane. And so my idea, Black community, minorities everywhere, sever yourselves from these people. Realize you have your own issues, you have your own freedom, your own struggles, and stop having imaginary allies. And you know what? The allyship with the Palestinians is a fucking joke. You have no connection. Your life and your struggle is not even remotely the same. So you know what they are? They're dead weight. Cut loose and fight your own battles. Win your own victories in your own country, and let these people of the sand figure themselves out.
Obviously, I don't agree, but here's why I don't agree.
I think he does.
I don't agree with the sentiment that Black people are complicit in a wide scale, right? I don't.
Oh, I thought you meant with me. No, right. You don't agree with what they're saying.
No, I don't agree with that. What I do agree with that when you have two groups that have faced strife and struggle at the hands of a government, there's going to be a kinship, right? And Black people in America, whether they be from the Caribbean, the continent of Africa, wherever, we all descend from the continent, right? There is a level of charity that we are loving people, and I've noticed that about us, man. When things were going on with apartheid in Africa, African Americans single-handedly spoke out the loudest at the treatment of Africans in Africa, right? This situation here in regards to the Gaza Strip, you're going to be hard-pressed not to have a lot of African Americans not feel a certain type of way about this because they see their own pain and these people's pain. But then this happens, and to your point, it does get to this place where it's like, well, wait, hold up for a second. If we're going to go follow that logic, allow your boy Steve to learn you something, man. Let's talk about the treatment of the continent of Africa and Africans by people that look like you, right? Let's talk about the treatment of Africans in their own country by people that can be identified as Arab or Middle Eastern or otherwise. And that's why I don't like to go down this path, man, because it's like no part of the world has been raped and pillaged more than the continent of Africa by so many different groups. Black people who joined the military for a better way and a better life for themselves, their intent was not to go anywhere and kill someone on foreign soil. They went where they were sent. There was no malice. I can't speak for all of them. There was no malice in their heart that they're going there specifically for that. I actually think that this is a political ploy to make black people take a look at themselves and hopefully not join a system. That's what I think this is a desperate attempt at, which is like, hey, you hate the term colonizers and you hate the notion of being colonized. I want you to know that you are contributing to a form of colonization. Now, I don't have the same vested interest in Israel as you do. The people of Israel, I want them to see no harm, just like the same. I don't want that for the people of Gaza. But the government of Israel, you're never going to catch me up here fucking defending them, only in the sense that they are our ally in that region of the world. But I have no kinship with the actual structural government. I can't think of a reason why we would be sending billions of dollars over there every year. What's the point? No one's ever logically going to make that make sense. But this, for me, is just good.
Wait, hold on.
Go for it.
You're saying ethically doesn't make sense, or do you really not know why that happens? Or
no, I know why it happens.
Okay.
I categorically don't agree with it. This is where this is where you and I differ on this point. Israel has a right to defend itself. Israel also has a right to stand up on its own, right? When's the last time?
I would agree on that.
When's the last time Israel sent that money back to help deal with infrastructural and threats of America?
It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Despite their ethnic group in America being one of the most successful ethnic groups, they're more successful than the people who actually are from here. You know what I'm saying? It's like all our dads worked for Jews. Let's get real. Right? You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the other way around. So your people are super successful and I'm sending your money? I'm like, what is going on? I know this this might be our last day on YouTube.
Bro, I'm just saying what it is, man. I support people and I support the people in countries, right? I don't support their evil governments, man. And I'm not saying that we all know what's really true about this situation, man. Netanyahu, or whatever the guy's name is, he's doing fuck all to get those hostages out, right? And as much as I feel for the Palestinians, the Palestinian government may or may not have had a hand in hiding terrorists, or you know where I'm going with this. So the people suffering.
Everyone is complicit, in my opinion.
I'm not complicit in shit.
No, not us. Not us. I'm talking about, Palestine and Israel were both complicit. I'm fucking innocent as a lamb right now. Me and you are chilling over here. We don't know what's going on. We didn't fund shit. I don't even know what genocide means.
I can't even afford to shop at Starbucks, man. I was standing outside of Starbucks the other day. They shooting me away, bro. But let's hear what this young lady has to say.
That's what she has to say.
The topic of solidarity between Black folks and Palestinians has existed since the inception of the State of Israel and the Nakba, and the issue of Black and Palestinian liberation not only mirror each other, but are inextricably linked in their histories. Support for the freedom of Palestinians has been an element of the Black Panther Party, of the Black Lives Matter movement, of the ending of apartheid in South Africa. Nelson Mandela, after his release from prison in 1990, embraced Yasser Arafat. In 1997, he said, "We know our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of Palestinians." In the 1950s, Malcolm X was one of the first Black Americans to show support for the Palestinian cause and said Black Americans would show complete sympathy with the Arab cause. Several months before his assassination, he visited.
It's true.
No, I do agree with that. But notice he said sympathy.
Yeah.
He said sympathy. He didn't say we're sending soldiers and money. Because straight up, don't look at Black people. We don't have anything to give you. And I know that, here's what it is. That's where I know this is going. That's where I know all this Palestinian talk is going. They're eventually going to be like, well, don't some of you young brothers and sisters want to come over here and be freedom fighters? No. No, we don't. We have our own goddamn problems. Look to the desert for your help. Because I'm saying look the other opposite direction. Instead of looking toward America, look toward the desert. Maybe your Arab brothers and sisters can help you. But Blacks ain't helping you do shit. I'll send you a postcard. Stay strong, brother. Stay strong. Happy Kwanzaa.
Yo, it's Everything
What were you
she's
saying?
saying is historically accurate, man.
She's
Malcolm X,
historically accurate, but like I said, they have their hand out. This is a scam. They're running a scam on you right now.
it's not. I won't go as far as to say it's a scam. It's good propaganda, right? It's good. It's good propaganda to pull at the heartstrings of Black Americans, as our heartstrings should be pulled at. We are people of this world, man. I'm not an isolationist like you, but I will not be guilted into anything. And I think that a lot of good. I think that a lot of good-meaning Americans are guilted into the support of Israel. Because your argument could simply be turned and replaced the word Gaza or Palestine with Israel, and then you'd be a victim or guilty of what you are speaking out against. That's the truth, my brother. Like, you can't logically, even as a Christian, acknowledge to me what your connection to Israel.
No, whoa! You don't know. You must not know my opinion. I probably shouldn't say it on this thing, but it's not what you think it is.
Don't say it.
But yo, here's what I'm saying. In terms of the Palestinians, and this is what the Palestinians are running. Yo, you're walking on 125th and St. Nicholas, right?
Right.
And somebody walks up to you. And it's like, yo, young brother, I've been having, and he starts. You can see. The first thing he says, starts spinning. He's selling a sob story.
Right.
You're a minute in. Do you think he's just gonna say, finish his sob story, and you'll just be like, you'll be in my prayers, peace? Or do you think he's ramping up to hit you up for something?
He's always ramping up to hit me up for something, and that's why I always stop them. Listen, I always stop those brothers like, listen, I'm going in the store right now. What do you want? Chopped cheese? What can I get you? Some chips or something like that? How can I?
Oh, well, okay. So that's your thing. I'm like, I ain't got shit. I'm like, you want that fool over there? I ain't got shit. If I had it, I'd give it. Sorry, bro. And then I go in the store and I buy a chopped cheese. But the point is, these Palestinians, they have their hands out. I see it. It starts with a sob story. It finishes with asking for shit. I ain't got shit for you.
Is genocide a sob story? There's a big difference between the Hebrew Israelite on St. Nicholas that just called you a border jumping, white woman loving piece of shit versus a person that's like, they're killing children in the street. We can make a distinction between these two groups, right?
You know what it is? It's because do you have an army to liberate them?
Well, publicly, Steve has no arms.
Right. Do you have some sort of like? Here's what it is. Do you actually have the ability to help them?
I mean, I could donate a few dollars here and there, right?
This is where it starts, man. You're donating to a cause that is going nowhere. Here's the fact. Nothing in the logical sense. Israel's not getting overthrown any day soon.
Mantis,
because America backs it.
Mantis, I've been primed for this as an American. I pay taxes. Think about that.
Yes, so some of your money is already going there.
Yeah, not to Gaza, not to Palestine for sure.
No, America's giving to both. They give a lot to Israel, and then they also give. It's really bizarre. It's bizarre, actually.
I know it's bizarre, and I understand your point, man. But here's my point: Black people will not be guilted into moving. Now, I want to make sure I clarify my point. I recognize this as a piece of propaganda that's trying to force our hand socially to be more vocal about the situation. But what this young lady's saying is the truth. African Americans have been vocal about this for years. 4 years. Now, I agree with you. I don't know if I'm sending any brothers and sisters over there to fight. Now, what you do and you're called to do is on you. But we have been vocal in support of their struggle, just as they have been vocal in support of ours. That does not mean that it's going to go beyond that point, man. Like, I understand what's happening to you is fucked up. But didn't nobody send any canoes over this way when Central Park used to be a black neighborhood and got turned into Central Park? Yeah,
and remember, they've only been oppressed since the 1940s. Before then, they had the run of the country. Did they help a single slave do anything in their struggle to free themselves? You think in the 1860s they helped people liberate from slavery? I doubt a single Palestinian lifted a finger to help blacks liberate themselves from slavery.
It's funny that she brings up Malcolm X because Malcolm X famously spoke in front of the UN and wanted America to be brought up on war crimes or, crimes against humanity in regards to the treatment of what he then called the American Negro. And no one lifted a finger. So I would have to concede to that point. There was no public outcry for the treatment of the American black during those times. I'm simply stating this, right? This is a bad look. You're not going to force black people's hands. In fact, I think the tide is turning in a way where this is only bolstering another community, which is the hashtag FBA movement. When you do stuff like this, they get 10 more members. 10 more members, like, why should I do anything as a black American? Whereas I'm more of I have a globalist approach. I don't want to see anyone oppressed. I got a few dollars. What can I donate to? How can I help?
So, real quick, I think it's funny that Roxanne came in here and she said, just real quick, when I was on my rant, she says Mantis reveals himself as a Harkonnen. From Dune?
Yeah.
Those black and white fools. Izzy says, yes, slavery is very real today. There's a tribe in Africa that terrorizes villages and rapes the men in front of the women as a sign of power. That's crazy.
Yeah. Listen, man, if you just take a quick read through the Quran, you can find some historical accuracy in there in regard to the treatment of Nubian and Nubanic. Yeah. Let me be the one.
That's horrible, man.
It's absolutely horrible. Let's let her finish her point, man. Because
real quick, I want to say something before I forget it.
What?
This is one thing. Another thing that I'm very, very sensitive about, because everyone is doing it, and so here's what it is: the best, well organized, and they have the furthest to go, but have gone the furthest. Movement of saving yourself as a oppressed class is civil rights, aka African Americans fighting the good fight.
Right.
To be recognized as humans and equals in the world. And they've gone the furthest. And as a result, everyone is trying to piggyback that shit.
I 100% agree with that.
Those damn feminists are constantly trying to equate themselves with us, trying to be like, yo, we're like the black people. Yo, black people, you want to hang together? You want to do a joint event? No, we don't want to do a joint event until we're free. Right? And it's the same thing with the gays. The gays are always trying to somehow quote it. You notice how they're always like, it's like civil rights. Well, it's not exactly civil rights. Why do you keep saying that? I don't understand why you keep saying that. And well, here's what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that I don't believe that either group shouldn't be free. Don't get me wrong. But everyone wants to jump on the African-American movement toward freedom because it's the most well-organized and most understandable. And everyone wants to jump on it. And my argument is everyone get the fuck off and go free yourself. Or we'll free you once we're free. We're not even free yet.
Yeah, right. Either kick in. Well, that's kind of where Tariq Nasheed comes in, man. So you're aware of the Pan-African movement, right? The people of Africa and Pan-Africanism being espoused by like such famous figures as Marcus Garvey. Well, Tariq Nasheed says that there is no coalition. He says there is no Pan-African movement. It's been largely carried by African Americans, right? This is Tariq Nasheed's words.
Absolutely, it is.
He's like, it's largely been carried by African Americans and promoted by African Americans, and that African Americans pay the highest toll to keep the movement alive, and that's why he has diverged from that movement. It's like, until there is an actual coalition, I'm telling black people to be telling black Americans, descendants of slaves, to step back from that table until there's some tangible proof. I just don't. Now, this is me being sentimental. I'm going to use words like feelings and I'm going to emote. I don't think it's the best way to go. Better is a united front, but I hear what you're saying. Again, in regards to this piece of propaganda, not the way to win people to your argument, because if you start calling out African Americans and saying that they are willfully coming over the Gaza Strip to colonize, then you have vastly overestimated your connection and your understanding. Right. That's the absolute truth, in my opinion. You know who probably really should have been up on this topic is Sensi Star. He has some, I think, some interesting points in regards to this topic, but I'm surprised that
I would love to hear what he has to say, but maybe I'll end up hearing what he has to say this Thursday on Riz Radio at 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. No, I'm sorry, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. It's
Yeah, I
the
gotta-
late night hip hop extravaganza known as Mic Check.
I gotta actually. Speaking of which, I need to shoot a kite or wheeler, as they say, to my two compadres. You want to finish this? You want to hear what she has?
Let's finish this, and then I want to real quick talk about Alien Romulus.
And was completely critical of Israel. The Black Panther Party considered Black Americans to be internally colonized and stated that Black Americans and Palestinians were essentially treated as third world peoples who were oppressed by colonialism and imperialism together. In more recent history, in 2014, in the Ferguson Uprising, Palestinians online showed support, expressed solidarity, and offered advice to protesters in Ferguson. And there were chants that gained prominence at this time. From Ferguson to Palestine, occupation is a crime. These liberation movements have been linked for decades. And this is one of the first times that we're seeing such a divide where we're being told that our values don't align with one another, and that is not the case. Both of these groups are aware that we're in a lose-lose situation with this current election. On one hand, we have Trump, who we are very aware is not good for Palestinians or for Black Americans. And on the other hand, we have Kamala Harris, who has also proven that she is not good for Palestinians or Black Americans. And we're sitting here so incredibly divided over what the right answer is when there's no clear answer for anybody. It doesn't turn out good for anybody. I mean, I have seen so much division on this app in the last couple of days. I think we need to sit down and have more open and honest conversations about how this election cycle impacts different minority communities. What they are afraid.
So she just admitted that Kamala Harris is not the answer and that Trump is not the answer for either group, right?
Right.
And then she's like, what we need to do is have more conversation. And, you know, honestly, that's the way a woman handles things. Let's talk about shit. You literally just admitted that there was no way out. Because let's face it, there is zero possibility that election day, November 8th, they call the electorate and they're like, who won? And it's neither Trump nor Kamala. There is zero possibility. It is either one or the other.
Right.
And her argument is that they're both bad. So what is more conversations going to do? It's useless. It is useless pandering and acting like a fool and virtue signaling. Let's have open and honest conversations. The open and honest conversation is that you Palestinians have gotten fucking screwed. You got the short end. It fucking sucks. But don't come to me for cash or help or whatever the fuck you think you're going to get out of me, because you're just another con job. And those are my moderate views on the Middle East.
Well, with that said, what you want to talk about with Alien Romulus, man?
Yeah, let's tell you Alien Romulus right that was awesome. I feel really powerful right now. Honestly, she was just talking more TikTok jive. These TikTok activists, they have nothing for me. Let's talk about Alien Romulus. It's at, I think, like 240 right now, 240 million.
Really?
Yeah. And so the problem is that you know, our platinum haired
I haven't seen it yet.
She gave an extensive breakdown as to why it's not a successful movie and why Disney should sell it.
What?
She literally says that Disney should sell it away because it's no good. And then at one point she said, she's like, most of the money, let's be honest, is from foreign sources, you know, overseas. She's like, which makes it, basically equates it to Fast and Furious. Like, Fast and Furious is one of the most successful franchises in the world ever, in the history of all movies.
Why do we only have 7 people in here? And why does she have so many people? Because I'm looking at the box office now, and it's 225 million earned worldwide. It has officially earned more than Ridley Scott's Alien, the best movie according to some, Period. Now we got to adjust for inflation and all that stuff, but this is a success. This is
absolutely a success. It's only been out 10 days.
This is a win for them. Now you're telling me she's saying that they should offload it to who, and who would buy it if it's not a success?
She thinks Warner Brothers, and so let's watch a little. We're not going to watch all of it because she's a disgusting animal, but let's see what the start of her bitching and moaning is. Okay, so we're gonna do this, and yeah, we're gonna jump around, cut around. I wish I had actually written down some of her more egregious moments.
Wait. I know I am the king of Gotham's, the logic dissector. If it is a failure, who would be interested in buying it?
What her theory says doesn't make sense. Sometimes I honestly think she has unresolved problems, and she needs she needs more help than she's getting. You know,
she's autistic, self-diagnosed.
Roxanne says, "I'm pretty sure that Grace made a pact with the devil to get her YouTube channel numbers." Yeah, which are in steady decline. For the last couple of years, have been steady decline. So
has to be, man. Has to.
Let's hear what she has to say.
Where every Sunday I put on my business hat. I'm never rooting against a movie, even though to some of you it might feel that way because I don't tell you what you want to hear. But I don't root for movies either on Movie Math, even though I adored Alien Romulus. Well, which seems to have some of you seem to forget that. In fact, I just ranked my top 10 movies for the year so far at the end of last week, and Alien Romulus was my number 3. I love the film. I absolutely adore it.
That it's
but it
not
would be a disservice to this report and to my relationship with you if I wasn't honest, about how it was performing. I take the position here of a neutral third party, giving an honest assessment of film and TV performances based on a number of different factors, because a number of different factors are at play. Today, we are continuing to discuss Alien Romulus as it ends its second weekend at the box office, and we'll take into account its domestic and international box office, costs, franchise history, and studio, in this case, Disney, which is a very specific studio and different than all the theatrically, the marketing costs are anywhere from 50 to 150%. Now, just to show you, I'm being very, very fair. I could say, they obviously spent 100% or 150%, but let's just go with the minimum. That they spent 50% of the budget on marketing. So that would mean $40 million for Alien Romulus, which puts the total cost at $120. Now, of course, and I'm surprised that many of you not many of you, because if you're watching this report, you know, but a lot of people on social media seem to be unaware that studios don't get 100% of the box office.
Yes, but it's over 120. She just said the number was 120.
Play these movies for nothing?
It's either 120 or 160.
So domestic is that studios get about 50% of the box office, overseas 40 to 50%, but then China is a special situation where they get just 25% of the revenue there. Now, the reason that China's box office is still valuable to Hollywood is that for a while there, it hasn't happened since the pandemic, but for a while there, Hollywood movies were generating so much money that 25% was still something to celebrate. For instance, Avengers Endgame made $632 million in China, so that's still $158 million going back to Disney. Also, these big numbers are very helpful on paper, but to secure box office records and to make some of you go, look at that number. But then you're confused as to why maybe sometimes things change.
But by that logic, does that mean that
going forward,
Endgame didn't make $2 billion?
Changes, or they take a break
because of China?
Because you're just thinking about the number on paper and not the meaning of the number. Different places, and they will all say they're disappointed last weekend that Alien Romulus couldn't run with that pack, which 5 globally, which puts it right in that range. It's not even 100% out of that range, but it's in the range, so that's nice. The bad news is that it's dropping pretty quickly. The domestic second weekend drop was 61%, and it couldn't even hold on to number 1. In fact, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Did you watch the movie?
I did. I saw it this weekend.
Oh, you saw it in theaters?
I did.
Oh, okay. Good for you, man. How was it?
I loved it. And so let me tell you, I put it up there with Alien and Aliens.
Okay.
I put it as the third tier movie right there. And here's what it is. I put those movies on their own spot and all other Alien movies somewhere else because they never have reached that high again.
Right.
Like some of the movies have good things happening in it, but they're never good movies. But
Right.
this was an all around good movie at a good time. They did new things. They did new twists. A lot of it was your typical Alien movie, but I'll say even when the things we're used to, they put new twists on them. Like for instance, I gotta say this: they have a birthing scene of an alien that scared the fuck out of me. It was so scary to watch the way this girl dies. And the way they do it is so bugged out. Like, because, they have, like, I'll just tell you real quick. They have this thing where, like, you can shine a light. You can shine a light. You can see an x-ray of yourself. So you're watching it, the x-ray of it ripping through her.
Yes.
And it's such a freaky way to do it. It just added to it. So I love this movie. I fucking thought it was great.
And this is the same director as Evil Dead, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's up on the the web, and I was gonna watch it the other night, but I was like, I feel like if I'm not gonna watch it in the theater, I should at least watch it on digital. You know what I'm saying? And get the full experience. It'll be on digital soon enough, I'm sure. But all right, continue.
I want to catch her saying the crazy
Marine
shit.
went back to the #1 spot in its 5th weekend. So it would have been nice if Alien Romulus had been able to hold on to that. What numbers would make me feel really good about Alien Romulus? If it had opened with a 5, it would be above its break-even point, making it profitable. But it would be less than Apes made worldwide, Bad Boys 4, also R-rated, and less than Godzilla x Kong. And by the way, Alien Romulus, to me, from a creative standpoint, is better than all those films. So that's frustrating that the box office is lower. Now let's take a look at this from Disney's perspective, because I think pretty much any studio but Disney would be very happy with this performance, particularly the smaller studios that tend to be the ones who put out the horror movies. They'd be like, woohoo! But Disney is a very unique studio. They stand apart because of their very strong business model. Now, when Disney is fully operational, 2019 is a very good example, the last year before the pandemic, when Disney really had kind of like reached its peak, in fact. They release about one movie a month, which gives them space to promote each one. Because Disney knows that casual moviegoers go about once a month to the movie. And Disney's goal is to be that one movie a month. And when Disney is at peak performance, it usually is the one movie a month that people go to. Because Disney specializes in broad appeal films.
Say your stupid shit,
and tentpole movies. And Alien Romulus also is clearly not shaping up to be that description doesn't fit Alien Romulus. Last year, though, The Little Mermaid, Quantumania, Indiana Jones, and Elemental were all considered weak performers of the pandemic, etc. You can see that Alien Romulus is coming in way lower than everybody else, even Apes. And so again, it's like, what here doesn't belong? Alien Romulus isn't able to keep up with the other Disney films. And as Disney has also been making very clear, their movies are engines for their overall empire, which has merchandise and experiences. What merchandise and experience is Alien driving? Right now, none, And that's why I said, we'll talk about theme. Don't worry, we'll talk about theme parks later, just in a little bit after in this conversation. But again, the reason that I said last week that maybe Disney should have kept Alien Romulus on Hulu with this kind of performance, I should have clarified last week, to be fair, that they wouldn't have had to have that kind of a spend on advertising if it had gone straight to Hulu. And it would have, some of you were like, this is better than no money. But it wouldn't be no money. I mean, it's just a different idea of where the value is, right? It drives subscribers to Disney Plus Hulu, and also it combats churn. It keeps them on the service, those who are already subscribed. And so there's a lot of value there. So it just becomes a different type
That
of
would have
value.
just been a stupid
and, you know,
move.
I'm not sure which is greater, considering that I think Alien Romulus is like a little weak.
She's a fool for multiple
theatrically.
reasons, and I'll go into it.
Of course, Alien Romulus could surge on digital and streaming, and they have the upcoming Alien Earth series on FX. However, while Noah Hawley is very good at getting great reviews and nominations and awards for his shows, he's never been able to deliver huge ratings like, say, Ryan Murphy or Shonda Rhimes, which would keep the Alien franchise, again, as niche. The past Alien movies have been doing very well on Disney Plus and Hulu, although we'll have to wait and see in a few weeks.
I want to point out that Noah Hawley, she just like insulted the show that they're making, the Alien Earth series. He does Fargo, which may not get like major ratings, but it gets awards, consistently awards, and people watch it and like it. It's a beloved show.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not like he's a fucking loser.
But at what point does she justify Warner Brothers buying this? Like, so I hear her saying a smaller studio, but what smaller studio could step to the table and give Disney what this franchise is worth? I mean, it almost this is not a great argument, but I'm going to make it anyway. It's almost worth more keeping it because it's a beloved franchise, and there's always the opportunity for it to turn around again, right?
Of course, but I'm saying this isn't a failure yet. Remember, this was an $80 million movie that they planned on putting on Hulu originally,
right?
And they saw it was that good that they're like, let's put it out in theaters.
Yeah,
you know, Prey, for instance, was $65 million,
right?
And so originally they didn't. You know, these aren't mega blockbusters,
right?
And it wasn't so movies like that are not meant to make those crazy numbers, but I'm saying it's making good numbers for an $80 million film. So she can't even justify what she's saying.
Weeks.
And I'll tell you, I believe her motivation is up and before she saw it, and it was ramping up. She was actually talking shit about it, and she's like, look at this idiotic movie that they're making. Alien Romulus. They should have kept it on Hulu. She's been saying that for weeks. They should keep this on Hulu. Like, who's going to see that? No one's interested in that. And that's her motivation for sullying this movie's reputation right now. She needs to be consistent and make it look like her predictions and her movie analysis is correct, even though she's living in her own universe.
I get you. So the point is to make her point, right? The point is to validate her point. Hello? Yo?
Am I busted or are you busted?
I can hear you.
I can't hear you.
Can anyone hear me?
Speak.
Can the audience hear me? Type in the chat if you can hear me. If you can hear me, type in the chat. This is Steve speaking. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, now I can't hear you. Yo.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry for the technical difficulties. Beyond the Trailer tends to do that.
Yeah, no. So the point is for her to make her point and validate her point is what you're saying. Listen, you don't even have to go any further than this. Here's my thing, right? If the movie math, right? If it turned a profit, if they got their money back for promotion and it made some money and there's some buzz and they're going to get something on the back end for putting it on streaming services, they should 100% hold on to this because this is better than, I guess, Prometheus and what was the second one? Covenant. Which I actually liked, man. I thought that was a pretty good movie. It had a weird ending, but I enjoyed it.
I thought it was weird. I thought it was weird for an Alien movie.
It was extremely weird for an Alien movie, but
like there's two Michaels at a certain point or Davids. I was like,
and that was a pretty obvious plot twist. We all knew what was going to happen there. As soon as I knew there was two Davids, I'm like, okay, we know what's happening. Right. But I just think this is going to do well during October. You don't even have to fucking defend yourself. I know where she's coming from, man. This is the woman that said Pedro Pascal was leaving.
Yes. and right. And so she's constantly misdirecting stuff, and it's all emotional for her. It's all emotional baggage. And so, do you remember when I tied it back into something we were talking about earlier?
What's that?
Remember how I said this is going to lead up to why Grace Randolph would be the worst producer ever, right. And so she says they should either sell it to Warner Brothers or they should make it PG-13 so they can market it like other movies. And so her idea is that if she's a producer, she would take one of the most beloved science fiction horror movies and dumb it down to something that kids could watch. So basically Disneyfy it is her argument.
Yeah, nah, I'm totally against that, man. Listen, I do agree that this would have done extremely well on Hulu, but that's a very big reach. And let me tell you why I think it's a big reach. Prey came out at the perfect time. We had no faith left in that franchise, right? The Predator franchise, which I enjoy more than Alien, to be honest with you. I think the Predator, I actually put in the chat for you and Shaolin to talk about, but you guys didn't bite on it. Which commandos would survive the encounter?
Oh, right. I did see it. I didn't have time. I was at work, so I couldn't.
Well, that's your first mistake. But we had such low hopes for Prey that it worked out, and it was just an amazing movie, right? And now they're going to release the next one in the theater, and they're going to do the Prey sequel. I do think that this would have done extremely well on Hulu, but it seems like it did fairly well in the theaters, man, and people received it extremely well, man. It's just people have lost faith in these franchises. Now, let's see how another one performs where it's like, hey, man, this was good. Let's go check out the sequel, right? It's all about the word of mouth.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's going to be freaking amazing. But her whole thing is like up to either Disneyfying it and turning it for kids or selling it, or like the two worst ideas ever. And so it shows her lack of understanding of movies in general and just a lack of understanding of people.
Yeah.
It already has a huge fan base of all these people. You don't think they're going to be enraged when something becomes PG-13?
Oh, that would turn them off completely. And as Beck said, tacky. I agree with that, man. I agree with that assessment.
Absolutely.
We're getting to that. We've hit that 2-hour mark, my brother. Any closing thoughts for the evening other than you believing that Palestinians don't deserve a quart of water if you're walking past them in the summertime?
Get a job, kid. Get a damn job. I have one, and I don't like it, but I do it anyway.
So in regards to my
I think you summed up my point of view real well. That represents me well.
In regards to mic check tomorrow, so I just got word from my two cohorts, my two compatriots. We're gonna record at 6, right? We're not gonna go live out of respect for the Riz Radio brand, and we'll record the show, which means by 8 o'clock, Steve is going to go radio silent, editing it, so it will be up for
tomorrow's Wednesday.
Tomorrow's Wednesday?
Yeah.
Oh, no, Thursday. We're going to do it Thursday. We're going to do it Thursday.
Thursday
at 6 p.m., and then I'll have it. It'll be up for the listening audience at 10 p.m. for a mic check. Dope Dynamics. We're going to have a good time. We're going to shit on some people. Bex is going to break down to me apparently Jupiter is in retrograde or something like that, and we got to talk about that because I'm tired of not knowing what that means, man. When someone says it to me, I instantly think they're threatening me. They're like,
Jupiter?
Yeah.
That's our king. That's our king planet. It's the thing that makes us kings and queens, man. That's a big one. We need to be worried, man. I didn't read past that part. When I was trying to get laid, pretending to care. But I can't wait to hear about our Dope Dynamics. It sounds like it's going to be a good time on Riz Radio, Thursday, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Please check us out. It's that block of music is all hip hop and awesomeness, and of course, my buddy Steve. We've got the Pink Princess Bix, and of course, we've got DJ Cincy Star. That's gonna be a good time, man. It's gonna be a real good time.
Long overdue. What do you got going for this week, my brother?
So I unfortunately this last week made the mistake of trying to record a show when I was at the cusp, like the top tier of this illness, and I did not sound like myself, and it was horrible. It was a mess. Hopefully I can recycle that script. I wrote some good ones. But if the Fat Mantis is alive and well, I will be, of course, going live on Sundays at 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Right. And so that is just before the second coming of that week of Mic Check. So please check us out. But we've got a whole load of fun things happening on Riz Radio over the weekend. So check us out on rizradio.com, on Live 365, or wherever internet radio can be found.
Yeah, and go check out the blog. Well written, by the way, in regard to the Foo Fighters Donald Trump thing. I enjoyed it, man. You really wagged your finger at those damn hippie rockers.
These damn un-Americans. Who am I calling un-American? You're just going to have to go to rizradio.com and click onto our blog post to find out what I'm talking about. Until next time, remember to like, share, and subscribe. The Fanboy Modeling School is out. I will see you until next time. Any last words, my man?
Ciao for now. Beat you to it, motherfucker.
Oh, bitches.